reflection in me like a glass. My arms for you open wide. Reflection in me like a glass. My arms for you open wide. Right now, the air is thin, but I can feel constellations blowing through me, like the wind. We share the orange lights as they dance above the moors, making time turn backward. Reflection in me like a glass. My arms for you open wide. Reflection in me like a glass. My arms for you open wide. So we can dance in the stars. So
It's been 10 years since I released Uranias Mirror, and it is still one of my most successful projects, and I'm really happy and pleased with it. The production is not perfect. I look back at it now and wish some of the mixes could have been a bit different, but I'm still really happy that I made the album. It came out of a funny time for me, a time of awakening and all the things that were going on in my head and my mind, and the pressure in me to push forward. And it's from the album before, which is more psychological, and it was kind of almost like a Jungian idea of shared consciousness, but different human stories at different times. This is more, I guess, fantastical, I guess. It deals with ufology, occult, meditation, different things like that. But it's basically all started as an overflow from a seven-pointed star. I just kept going with some of those ideas, and they're really complicated ideas to produce. So I don't feel like listening to this. I think there's some really cool, interesting ideas, but it's not far from perfect. And there's some things I wish I'd done differently with the mixing. The mastering is very uneven, but it still stands to me as a work that represented perfectly who I am at the time, and it set me on a path in a way. So I'm grateful for it. The artwork, Uranias Mirror. The title comes from the artwork, which is they're astronomical star chart cards, and they come as a set, and they were done in 1824, and they're based on illustrations by Alexander Jameson's A Celestial Atlas, and they were engraved by Sidney Hall, but were said to be designed by a lady, whatever that means. It was a different time. I'm sad that the female artist never got the full credit, because they are truly stunning. And you've got all the constellations there, and they're beautifully done, and it inspired the art. And every song I did, I wanted to have a piece of art with the lyrics on. So it was an art project as well. And the cover is Orion's belt of the Uranias Mirror art series. And sadly for me now, looking at this, is because it's 10 years old, the art is not the full res that it would have been back as it was 10 years ago. So some context at the time. My life was changing a lot anyway, because I was leaving probably the longest long-term job I'd had in retail. And me and my mum were business partners, taking on a shop and small post office. And that was all in the pipeline. So a track like, for example, Orange Lights in the Sky. So I made a video 2017, briefly going through all the song meanings. It's about 20 minutes long. But this is more like more in depth, and it's more of a celebration of how this has framed 10 years of work, essentially. And the reason behind this is I want to celebrate that milestone in my life personally, and because I find it weirdly therapeutic, and all these songs, it's not about ego, but how they reflect on, they're part of my life, creating them, building them together and writing them. They're milestones in my life. It sounds very weird and strange, but if you're a songwriter, you know what I mean. So Orange Lights in the Sky. So that was my first introduction from a total non-believer in ufology to someone interested in the subject by the virtue of UFOs, a UFO sighting, a simple but profound UFO sighting which changed my consciousness about ufology itself. And it was it was my introduction to orange UFOs, orange orbs, plasma orbs, whatever you want to call it. And I got interested in the subject. And there's a book about it called The Complete Story of the Worldwide Invasion of Orange Orbs. And there's some really, now at this time and place in history, you can look up so many great UFO sightings. And I've had some really good ones since my very first one, which was an unidentified orange orb flying in the sky, moving in directions that couldn't possibly physically be done by a terrestrial pilot or machine. There was no noise, no propulsion, visible propulsion, but light flashing, growing, and moving at 45-degree angles. I've since seen some really powerful ones. And I do feel like once you start to see them, in a weird synchronicity, you start to see more of them, or you look up more, maybe perhaps. There's a lot of activity at the moment. In the last 10 years, there's been a lot of activity. Me and my girlfriend have witnessed an amazing orange orbs collection of sighting, driving home, looking out across Bodmin Moor, seeing these clusters of orange lights, almost like sunset, this colour of a sunset, moving and reappearing, disappearing, and collectively moving downward, after which a helicopter went near to the area, turned around and went back the other way. I turned my car around really, really quickly. My girlfriend was watching it, pulled in, got my phone out to film it. By that time, it was all over. It all happened so quickly. But I have seen some great YouTube footage of the exact same thing that someone has witnessed. It looks perfect, almost identical. So the song is about that, and at the time, some of my interests were spiritual, but also, I guess, quite new agey, which I'm not into now, and I don't subscribe to some of those concepts or ideas. So there's some new agey stuff in the lyrics, but I do like the concept, and it goes with the Uranias Mirror idea of being like as above, so below, the Hermetic idea. So your life and the life on earth is a reflection of heaven or the spirit world or the spiritual realms, however you want to define that. And so those elements are in there. There's some elements of that in there. And there's, unfortunately for me, a lot of these tracks I can't now go back to because they were done on a version of the music program I use, Ableton, which now I can't, I didn't capture the stems, and I now no longer use that, or the VST plugins or the instruments now no longer work on it because of the way things upgrade and change over time. Old instruments, VST instruments, weren't in 64-bit basically. I should have bounced all the stems, like the bass line, the guitar line, everything, so I could have rebuilt it, edited it, made different versions of it, but I just whizzed through this whole album so quickly over a period of time. And I didn't think like that back then. When I tried to mix it, I didn't know how to mix with so many new ideas to me, like mixing synths and loops and things like that. I didn't really know how to make things shine. Given the context of what I did, I think I made a pretty good job of it. The original version of this song is actually a whole tone down, and it was a lot slower, and I didn't like the energy of it, so I put a capo on the second fret, so was originally in A, and it ended up being in B, a bit faster. I like still now I think the drum loop's great, and if it ever comes on in my car, because I do have an MP3 player, it's got all kind of random stuff in it, but it also has the occasional track of my own. I like the way that the bass sample of the weird talking and the drums sound. The synth also really pushed it all together, and the vocal harmony. So I'm really pleased with that song. I play live almost every time I play a gig. I play Orange Lights in the Sky just acoustically. I like the way it feels. I like singing it. I like the falsetto, being able to, the way the falsetto chorus feels. And I liked it as an opener with the synths coming in. It just felt like nothing I'd ever done before. And it was driving forward the album, and it had to be the first one. And it's an introduction to, a reflection of my introduction to new ideas such as ufology, spiritual ideas, etc. So I'm gonna put a still of the artwork of Orange Lights in the Sky with the track.
The sleeping dreamers, free energy and technology, the kingdom of heaven is within. Flying over orange and bright, blazing through the night, flying over, changing direction, defying expectations, orange lights in the sky, make me wonder why it seems so unreal, what the truth reveals. The keys to enlightenment, universal consciousness, free currency, the poetry of mind and memory, flying over orange and bright, blazing through the night, flying over, changing direction, defying expectation, orange lights in the sky, make me wonder why it seems so unreal, what the truth reveals. Orange lights in the sky, make me wonder why
So now, In the Valley Below. In the Valley Below is actually an echo of a very old album, which I never really recorded. I've got these albums which I never finished. So I've got loads and loads of music written down which I've never revisited. Or I've got some very early poor quality albums or demos or acoustic recordings which were unusual to me now, but record the songs. So this song was originally called The River Styx or River Styx. It was part of a 12-track acoustic demo private recording of a selection of songs I wrote in, I think, and I can't quite remember if this is right, 2005, maybe late 2004 when I started this. And I recorded them. I didn't have a mic on my little laptop. Technology was very different then. And I recorded it on my brother's computer with just acoustic guitar vocals. And then I was able to lay on top a couple of other ideas, like pitch shifted guitars and vocals, harmonies. And the song is about a great day I spent with my dad and granddad in the city of Bristol, doing the Dockside River tour and walking over the Clifton Suspension Bridge. And the way that the bridge looked and the sunset was going down, it was so icy cold. And you could see the sign about if you're in trouble, if you're feeling self-doubts or mental health issue, we call the Samaritans. And the spark of the song arose that this was like some kind of gateway to a different life, and underneath me was flowing the river, and it was for a minute in my own mind like the river of the underworld, a transitional river. So yeah, that's it. That's the concept. The guitar part is, I was getting into a different way of writing, so I'd gone through, my voice was changing as well. So I'd gone through a higher nasally tone, and then my voice was suddenly dropping again. So I got more of a chest diaphragm, more of a rounded tone. It was deeper, wholer, and it's a finger-picked part. And I often play this song live now. So that's 20 years old now, this song, I guess. And it's an alternating finger picking pattern. A lot of those Empty Throne songs were inspired by finger picking pattern styles of some of the people I like Nick Drake, the way he plays, and using a drop open tuning or drop D tuning or whatever with a capo on. Some of these old 60s, 70s folksters, and I got into singing a bit deeper because I was listening a lot to the time to Rufus Wainwright. So I was really happy with the recording. I still think it shines now. It's really simple, and that's what makes it work compared to the rest of the album. It's very simple production-wise. It's just a very, very simple programmed drum beat, some very ambient synths, the guitar, single guitar, and the single vocal line. So it works very well. I think there's a little bit cello in there. And yeah, enjoy. I'm going to put this here with the still of the lyric and original artwork. Enjoy.
The air was cold and floated like liquid above the river. Flecks of orange ran like streaks in its nearly still water. Puddles were frozen, but the river kept its slow beat, like a pulse, like a heartbeat. sticks. My face was red with cold. No birds were singing in the valley below. No sound echoed back off the walls of the gorge, but in the distance, buildings of the horizon. The air was wild and the bridge seemed too thin for its size. The sky turned pink as dust swept in. My heart was full of awe as I turned and stepped back on earth once more. My face was red with cold. No birds were singing in the valley below. No sound echoed back off the walls of the gorge, but in the distance, buildings of the horizon.
So now we're moving on to Like a Feather. So I actually prefer, this has got some of the original demo ideas, like the pitch shifted guitar. It's got a 3 or 4 part harmony in it. But I was trying to make the vocal, I couldn't get the vocals to pop out the way I wanted them to. And I couldn't get it right when I'm trying to master it. So it doesn't shine the way I wanted it to shine, really. I think it's better than I remember it. But I prefer it just acoustic. Every now and then I'll play this song. And this is another, this is a very old song, and it's another song from the Empty Throne period in 2005. And it is about the last time that I ever saw my ex-girlfriend at the time, who has, in the intervening years, sadly, she's passed away. And it was like a tribute. I wrote a load of songs as a tribute to her memory, so. And it just tries to capture that moment. And I'll put that here. Where am I? The hands will transition to the track. 1, 2, 3, go.
It filled my head with color that ran like paint and water. It feels like a sigh collapsing in on itself, like holding a mirror up to a mirror
Okay, so track 4, Michael's Mountain. I actually really like this. It's got a simple arpeggiated harpsichord riff, and it's got some very simple vocal ideas and chordal ideas, and it does bring about a slightly medieval feel. And I think listening back, I actually really like this. It's very simple, chordally, and the vocal harmonies really make it. And it's down tempo and chilled, and it does have a bit of space to it. It has quite a few layers to it, but I actually think it's a quite successful track from this album. And it's inspired by, as I said in the original video, St. Michael as a archetypal figure of guidance, and by the place like Mont Saint Michel, which I visited, which was so beautiful to me. So I guess, and it was relatively recent that I visited when I first wrote and recorded this. So it's yeah, and I still think it's good, and it's all about hope and keeping yourself strong and appreciating who you are, even if you're not perfect. And I've tried to keep some of these original thoughts that I had at the time, to me, that I'd never encountered before, about how you can't be anything other than who you are. So try to appreciate who you are. And one of the most important things I try to reiterate to myself is have a realistic level of self-acceptance. You're never going to be perfect. Life is never going to be perfect, but appreciate what you've got. So I've tried to keep a glass half full type approach, because you never really know what's going to happen. So make the best of what you've got. Enjoy. So this is the golden light of home. And back then, my life has changed a lot since then. And I was living in a very old Georgian building in a Cornish village. And it was a big place. It had some issues, but it was lovely in a way. It was a home to me then. And I lived there quite a while. And I lived with my folks and my brothers. And we had an old piano there at the time. And I used to spend many an hour in the piano room, the back room, bashing around on this old upright piano and come up with this arpeggiated riff in B. It went from B to C major 7 and then morphed between major and minor keys in and around B. And then it went to two-part harmony chorus. And the lyrics are, returning back. So just solely, whatever you want to believe. We'll go for the whole idea in the song is that you die and you go into the afterlife, the spirit world, and it's like returning home. Simple as that. And it was weirdly emotional for me because I was expressing something deep, and I can't really put it into words really. And I was toying with the idea of doing a cappella version, but like a lot of these things, with hindsight, I wish I could adjust the mix a little bit and maybe redo the vocals, maybe do this and that to it. But I think they still sound as great pieces of work, and it was a good song. And at the end, you've got a live clip of me just messing around with the piano, which I pasted in at the back, basically pasted it in the end of the song. In the original video of it, there's everything. To me, looking back, I went to walk down Lou at the time and to gather my thoughts, and there was these crazy, stormy tidal swells coming in, and since then, the crazy weather that we've had in the last 10, 12 years, be it climate change or however you want to define it, and all the just density of population in Cornwall, but the lack of infrastructure. But yeah, enjoy.
A golden light, a perfect tube, flowers blooming on the path, birds flying backwards, butterflies in the air. The golden light of home, going to Zion, where the soul was born, going to home, back to where we came. Perfect light to heal the mind, the spirit blooming on the path. Such a perfect love, like flowers from above. The golden light of home, going to Zion, where the soul was born. These souls may have become the angels and guardians of humanity. Every guardian spirit I've ever seen has been golden. We were able to bring about a golden age again by allowing the light of home back into the world through our hearts and spirits. It is the light of enlightenment, hence why the saints, Isa, angels are always depicted with a golden halo. This can also be found in Hinduism.
So Cassiopeia is a constellation I really just love to look at. It's a big W. I remember seeing it on the ferry over to Brittany in France, and looking up at this big W, and then, oh, it's Cassiopeia, I don't know how to say it, the seated queen. And it's a synth arpeggiated jam. I think it's in 7. But it's in our time, and it's a jam. It's mostly all synth based, and it's got a vocalized chorus. Yeah, and it's just fun. It's just a piece of fun. I really enjoy it, and I still knock up tracks messing around like this. And I just love the feel of certain ideas when they come to. I want to try different ideas. So I want to try to create music and experiment with ideas I've never heard before tonally. So chord progressions, putting chords together I've never ever heard, time signatures, or different concepts and ideas in music that I've never heard before. Mercury in retrograde. So it's a bit of a buzzword for astrology, in astrology, for a time where you shouldn't be doing certain things, where technology can break down, don't sign a contract, things like that. It's because things tend to go a bit wobbly when Mercury is in retrograde. It's when all the planets go around us. No, let's explain. It's when the orbit of Mercury seems to go backward across the sun. So that's what it is. And it's supposed to strip back the ego. And this is another cool jam. I think it's 7. And I really, really like the beat. It's a cool jam. And it's, again, moving away from, so this is a real big move away for me from guitar-based writing. So I used to, new way that I used to write songs, sit down with a pen and paper, try ideas on guitar, different tunings, different timings, and try and work out melodies from the lyrics and use your instincts, musical instincts, let things flow and rhythmically try different rhythmic ideas. And this is different. This is a type of writing that's loop-based or synth-based, or triggering a drum synth loop and playing over the top. Different ideas, and it's got a crispness and a sharpness. This, again, like I said, I really think like it drives forward. It represents the concept of the Mercury in retrograde. It's got a lot of energy to it, which I like. So yeah, enjoy. Sad Blue Parade. So now we're getting into the other strange territory of the Vault of Lost Songs. So, in 2014, the first thing I did after a relationship was try to make sense of all the different things that were going on in my life at the time. In my head, my energy was awakening to energy coming through. Things were changing for me, so I needed to make sense of it somehow. And at the time, the way that I did things like that was to pick up a guitar and write some lyrics and try and work through some ideas. So that's how Gin Palace come about. And Gin Palace was inspired by, let me just try and find it, Gin Palace. The Hogarth, so the Hogarth were prints. So how London looked in the 18th century, and it was about decadence and collapse. So it was almost like trying to capture industrial feeling, addiction, and like the fall of Rome kind of feeling. Obviously, it's not all literal, but the melee of weird things in a weird time. So, the actual Gin Palace was a big book of about 50, 60 songs, full of almost like a journal, full of rambling thoughts, poetry, ideas, and I got out of that 24 songs. And I never committed to making it or into 12 set tracks. There's a couple of dogs barking there. And at the time, I wrote a song for my ex-girlfriend called Sad Blue Parade. And it's a nice little ballad. And it was a tribute to her, but it's also kind of sarcastic, I guess, but I just liked it. I never wrote anything quite like at the time. It's a nice little 3/4 capo on the 4th fret, and I quite like the turnaround with the chords, putting just the slightly jazzy chords in. Yeah, so enjoy.
Like a sad blue parade, always turning wine into water. Like a sad blue parade, always acting like a lamb to the slaughter. Being with you
So fill the earth with light. It's basically a meditation. All the lyrics are a meditation counting down, and it's a chakra-based meditation. So open up, draw in the spiritual light, and fill the earth with that light. And there's some samples in there. So I think it's an Australian. The weird metallic chirping is an Australian blackbird. And yeah, I think that some of these ideas are simple. They're innocent in a way, they're quite sweet. So yeah, meditation. It basically it changed how I view certain things, and how it made me think about how I wanted to experience my life. You get pushed around from pillar to post by your body and your thoughts and your mind, but there's more to living than just thinking, getting up, going to work, coming home, eating, going to sleep. There's a whole array of colours there. There's a beautiful world we experience and share. We should be making the most of it, and most of each other, and being compassionate with each other and kind to each other, instead of this continuous stream of war and corruption. It's just awful. When people just, all they want to do is live their lives and be happy and make the best of their lives and be together. And then you've got these psychopaths out there that try to take it away, or try to make it hard for people, or have their own agendas which conflict with everybody else's. In the intervening years, a lot of this stuff's come out, but still, I think apathy is one of the things that's holding us back from what we could be, how we could live as a society, how we could be better ourselves. And in these last 10 years, I was looking for answers there, and I've not found the answers, but I'm wiser in that. I've come to understand I respect the unknown. The mystery of it is part of what's important, and the looking and searching is also what's important. And even though there are tough times, there's been tough times in the last 10 years, it's been a journey, and some of it I do really understand, and I do respect my younger self. So enjoy.
Sacred green heart of creation, seed of compassion, love and hope above a blue moon
Gathering the Dust. So this is another of the lost tracks from Gin Palace. It become a deep synth-led, deep cut of synth-led sweeping. Now this was going to be part of some of these Gin Palace songs I recorded. They may or may not have found themselves on Endless Blinking in the Sunlight, which was my 4th album. They didn't, however. And this never made it on the final cut. So same as Sad Blue Parade of Gin Palace. Gin Palace actually is a big album. It's 14 tracks, and half of it is new. So these 24 acoustic original demos, only about 6 ever got used on the final album. And this one ended up on a different album altogether. This was on, ended up on Uranias Mirror, and it's a nice gentle feel to it, sweeping sense. It's got some driving cool tom-tom drums, which it is the tom-tom loop, and it's got some nice vibes to it, I guess. It just started out as just an simple acoustic track. So I was quite pleased with that, how that turned out. So, enjoy. Healing Rain. This is about quieting in your mind and just listening to the simple sound of the rain. When you do that and you're just enjoying the moment, how healing it is to the mind. It's got some funky time signatures and some ideas where I was pitch shifting and putting weird ideas onto the drum beats. And all the drums in this whole album are all programmed. And I'm glad that I found that and I worked with that. You know, it was difficult coming from a city to a rural area, trying to find like-minded musicians and stuff, but you do eventually get there. But I was happy that I worked on my own. I needed to work on myself, and I got to where I wanted to get to musically, even though it's not, you know, looking back, you can pick in the holes and things like that. Yeah, I mean, this is some of these tracks, and I know I'm never going to be able to play them live. But it's just, yeah, it's an innocence here to this whole album, really, and also a mixed match. It's got, you know, 2 old tracks from the Empty Throne back in 2005. It's got 2 tracks from the original Gin Palace demos from 2014, and then a whole flood of ideas. But they work together, and I was quite amazed. That amazed me when they did that. They come together like that. Sorry, I'm surprised that these ones do go together. There's tracks here that I'd never play, and I'd never play like Sadly Parade live. You know, I'm glad I wrote that song. I'm glad it's part of it, and I'm glad I had my time with some songs. But some songs grow with you over the years, and some songs you have to let go of, and some songs randomly just bang you on the head and come back in. So you never know what's going to happen. But Gathering the Dust, Healing Rain, For the Earth of Flight, Sadly Parade, Mercury Retrograde, Cassiopeia is a jam. You know, Golden Light of Home. It's unlikely I'll play any of these songs ever again live, really. So I enjoy them for what they are. So enjoy the Healing Rain.
Tomorrow brings
And that's it, come to the last track. And I wrote it and with the idea that it is the last track. It's the vibe-wise, it's slow, it's very down-tempo. It's kind of a downer, really, but it works in, like, in my mind, I was like, the slow going down of the sun, the dusk turning into twilight. It's like, it reminded me of, like, bands like Nirvana, those, how a track like Something in the Way ends it. It's a very almost like opioid ending, and it's like that. It is what it is. It's got some cool ideas in it. And some of the ways that I put chords together, I've got that. I like the major minor elements of Elizabethan and some medieval music. So that's a lot of my ideas over the years, playing around with that major minor feel. So it's in there. And yeah, enjoy the day stuff. It was a good project, Uranias Mirror. It gave me an outlet for what was going through my soul at the time. And I was really happy with. I wouldn't say like I'm on a success with music at all. It's, I love music so deeply, but I'm not a successful musician. I'm not a successful. I don't make a living out of it. I don't make any money out of it. I do it just purely from love. And so everything I do is that it's from a place of love. I just make music because I love music. I love to make music. It's something I get from it that I can't get from anywhere else in my entire life. And all these songs are like stepping stones of my own personal history, and they remind me of different times, different people, And I like to write songs that are tributes, tributes to some of the important people in my life, and that capture important moments for me. So, and sometimes they're stories, and and it all seems. The beauty of hindsight is how simple things are when you look back at them, but they're never simple. Life is hard to live sometimes, and it was healing for me to make this, and I'm pleased and glad that I did it. And I wanted to do a little something for this album, and I'm gonna put it out as I'm gonna half price it. And of all the albums I've done, my third album, 2015, it gave me a boost. It encouraged me because people did buy it. A lot of people did buy it at the time. I mean, not a lot of people, as in, I'm talking to people that supported me, bought the album, and that encouraged me. And it worked. I was working through some things like, I was really close to my grandparents, and like when I worked on 7-Pointed Star, it was a way of just channeling that grief into. My grandma died. It was the end of that. My granddad died in 2008, but when my grandma died in 2014, it was the end of that. It was an end of an era, and it was the beginning of a new era, and that's true of Uranias Mirror. I was in my life. I left my long-term job that I'd had for 8 years. I was going into something different, and that didn't work out so great, but it doesn't matter. You can't stand still. You have to move forward in life. You have to take the risk. And sometimes you fail. That happens. But you pick yourself up and you work through things, and you keep going, because that's all you can do. And because life is not promised. A long life is not promised. A good life is not promised. But you can make the best of what you got. You can choose to do something about what you've got. And I've done that in the last 10 years. And that's a testament to that moment. So, Uranias Mirror. I was glad to have made it. I'm glad to look back at it, and I'm glad to listen to it. And so yeah, I'm going to put it out half price. So, and this is a celebration of the album. So enjoy. Thanks to all the people that supported me over the years. It's now February 2025. I was 33 when I released that. I'm 43 now. And I've done a lot of creative work in those 10 years. So the true aspects of my creativity have come out in those 10 years. So in that way, I've made a success of my artistic abilities. Maybe not in other ways in life. I could have done it all differently, and that's the curse of hindsight. But I am pleased with that. And I still love music, and I still love my life. I'm grateful for everything I have in my life. Thank you, everyone, for supporting me. Good night.